alarm clock buzzed, and Daniel groggily opened his eyes. The ceiling above him was unfamiliar. He sat up and looked around. The room was not his own. The furniture, the posters on the wall, the clothes scattered across the floor, all belonged to someone else. He turned toward the mirror, and his heart pounded. The reflection staring back at him was not his own. It was someone else entirely. Panic set in. He scrambled out of bed, checking his hands, his face, his body. None of it was his. He opened drawers, rifled through belongings, looking for clues. A wallet lay on the nightstand. He flipped it open and found an ID. The name read, Michael Carter. That wasn't his name. He was Daniel Wright, or at least, he had been yesterday. As the initial wave of panic subsided, another realization hit him. This had happened before. Yesterday, he had woken up in another life, as someone else. The day before that, the same thing. Every morning, a new body, a new identity, a new reality. No memory of who he was supposed to be that day until he found a clue. He was trapped in an endless cycle of lives, waking up as a different person each time, with no control, no pattern, and no explanation. He had tried telling people before. In one of his previous lives, he had burst into the streets, screaming that he wasn't who they thought he was, that he was someone else, that something impossible was happening. But that only led to being locked up, questioned, treated as insane. He had learned to adapt, to play along, to live each day as best he could in whatever life he woke up in. Today, he was Michael Carter, a college professor. There were papers on the desk, lecture notes about physics and time theory. The irony was almost laughable. A calendar on the wall told him it was March 25th, 2025. But what did dates even mean to him anymore? Tomorrow, he could wake up in 1987 or 2099. He had no control over time, space, or who he became. He went through the day pretending to be Michael. He delivered a lecture on quantum mechanics, piecing together what he could from notes and students' expectations. His mind wandered as he spoke about parallel realities and the multiverse theory. Was that what was happening to him? Was he jumping between dimensions? Was he a consciousness untethered, drifting from one version of existence to another? Or was he just insane? Night came, and he dreaded sleep. He always did. Because sleep meant waking up somewhere new, as someone new. He tried fighting it before, staying awake for as long as possible, but eventually, exhaustion won. And when he closed his eyes, he knew he would lose Michael Carter forever. The alarm buzzed. Daniel opened his eyes. The ceiling was different again. A hospital room. A heart monitor beeped steadily beside him. He turned his head and saw an old man's wrinkled hand resting on the sheets. He lifted it. It was his. Or rather, it was now. A nurse walked in. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson," she said with a smile. "How are you feeling today?" He didn't answer. He didn't need to. He already knew that today he was someone else, and tomorrow he would be again.